What's up guys, I'm Loki, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing a different type of video. It's a best drop spots plus strategies guide in arena, in pubs, and team game modes, and solos. Just a complete all-out guide. This will help you become a better player. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoy, subscribe if you're new, and turn on those notifications for more epic content. Also, I just wanted to let you guys know that in the description there are all the timestamps for this video, so if you want to skip ahead to a part, that's perfectly fine. That's in the description. Also, huge shout outs to AussieAntics and ImMoofie. They've helped me so much with this video just watching their content, so I'll leave their links in the description. So quickly, some terminology to help you guys understand this. The congested side is a crowded side. As you can see on the image, the bottom is a congested side. The dead side is a side with less people, which would be the top right now, is very much the dead side. Pubs is anything not competitive, so arena and tournament is competitive, but just a normal game like solos or duos, that's pubs. W key means you just fight a lot and you just charge at everyone you see. An endgame is typically 5th zone on, so in the image shown, the white circle is a 4th zone, so anything past the next zone is considered endgame typically. I'm breaking this down to arena and pubs, and then also if it's solo game mode, if it's team game mode, whatever. So the different things you see here, the kills, is to help you identify what type of player you are. This is just a rough estimate, so don't take this as 100% fact. So that's not how many kills you have on average. That shows when you hit top 10 in your average game, when you get top 10, how many kills do you have? So in arena, I tend to have around 2, so I'm a medium player, and in pubs, I tend to have around 6, so I'm a W tier. So in arena solos, if you're a W tier, I would recommend you maybe land at the Spire, where you can get a lot of kills and good loot, especially if you like primal guns. But the main problem there is you're not going to make many end games because it's really hard to win off spawn consistently. However, if you can win off spawn consistently, that's definitely a good place to go. Misty Meadows is kind of like the medium W key spot, where you can make a lot of end games, but you don't get as good as loot, you don't get as many kills. It's still a great spot though. Lazy Lake gets you a lot of kills, you get really good loot, really good storm. Problem is you're going to have to fight a lot, especially if you're a good box fighter. This is a great place though, because of the amount of amazing loot and kills you can get. A couple tips I have is to rush people that are boxed up, to do dead side rotates, and to just pop off in end games. If you are a medium player in arena solos, then like myself, I'd recommend you landing maybe Craggy Cliffs, where you can get lots of kills, good loot, but you're not going to get very good storm, so make sure you have a car lined up to get away. The weather station, you get really good loot, but you might not make as many end games because you have to fight a good amount off spawn. There's also an NPC there who is immediately aggressive. He will give you a scar if you kill him. A couple tips are to stay in front of moving zones, that congested rotates are fine, and to make sure to place in endgames. You don't have to be consistently winning, you just have to be consistently making the top 5. When you get into the top, 10, don't die in the top 10, die in the top 5, because that'll give you extra placement points. If you're more of a passive player in arena solos, I would recommend maybe landing at the Lighthouse, which is one of my favorite spots. You get maybe 1 or 2 kills if you're contested, or if you charge at someone at maybe the Shark, and you get really, really good loot. The problem is you don't get very good storm, so you have to leave immediately, and you normally have to take the boat there. So if you don't like running from the storm, maybe this isn't the spot for you. The Slurpy Swamps outskirts is also a great spot where you can get good shield. The loot here isn't as good, but still good. You might fight one person, but probably not. The problem here is also you're going to have bad storm, so make sure that you understand how to rotate out efficiently. A couple tips I have is to stay to the side of moving zones, that way you don't fight as much, to do dead side rotates, and to make sure to place in end games. Again, it doesn't matter if you're winning, it matters if you're hitting that top 5 consistently. If you're a team in arena and you're more of a WQ team, I'd recommend maybe landing at Pleasant Park, where you can get lots of kills and really good storm a lot of the times. Even if you don't, you can take a car. The loot there isn't as good, especially in trios, but there's enough cars there and there's an upgrade NPC, so you should be pretty okay. Sweaty stands, you get good rotates, good loot, and a lot of mid-game fights if you want them, but you might end up on the congested side of zone, so make sure you understand how to get to dead side. If you land Lazy Lake, however, which I love Lazy Lake, you can get a lot of kills, you can get good loot, you can get some good storm. Problem is you're fighting a lot, so if you were playing with a teammates that you haven't played for a while, you don't have very good chemistry, maybe this isn't the place for you. You really need good chemistry to land at Lazy Lake. Couple tips I have is to rush teams that are boxed up. Congested rotates, even though I definitely don't recommend them, they're definitely okay as long as you understand how to build properly and to tarp into zone. Make sure to pop off in endgames and to keep height in order to maximize your kills. Make sure to target solos, and if you're playing trios, target duos, so that way you can get some free kills and free loot. If you're more of a passive team in Arena, then you might want to land at, say, the Shark, where you can get good loot, good rotates. The problems here is you might have bad storm and you might not get as many kills. Now, if you are a trio, you might want to send one team member out to land at the Lighthouse, because if you can control the entire Shark and the entire Lighthouse, you will have insane loot. That is such a great landing spot. Camp Cod is also a great landing spot. You can get okay loot, but there's a lot of fishing spots around, so if you like fish, that's awesome. And you can fight people from Misty or Caddy if you choose to. Only problem here is you get really bad storm, which, if you don't like running from the storms, not great. Logjam, you get a couple kills because you're probably contested. You get a lot of loot though, a lot of mats, and you get good rotates because of the cars. Problem is you normally end up on the congested side, so make sure you understand how to rotate early in order to get on the dead side of zone. The couple tips I have are to target solos and duos and trios, to contest height in 5th, 6th, or 7th zone, so that way you have a higher chance of placing. Make sure to place it in endgames, and make sure to do dead side rotates in order to target those solos, and in order to stay alive for as long as possible. Now, if you're a W tier in pubs, I would recommend you maybe land at the Spire, where you can get a lot of kills and good loot, especially if you like primal guns, but you might not leave with as much shield, which isn't very good for endgames. Colossal Crops, you get a lot of endgames, and you can get a good amount of kills. The loot there isn't as good, though, so that's kind of what you're sacrificing if you land there. Lazy Lake, you get a lot of kills, really good loot, really good storm circle most of the time. The problem is you're fighting a lot, so you need to be a good fighter to land there. Couple tips I have is to rush people that look bad, to do congested rotates, and to pop off in early to mid game. If you are a solo player in pubs and you tend to be more passive, I recommend you maybe land at Craggy Cliffs because you get some kills, you get good loot, but you might not get very good storm. So make sure you understand how to take a card to rotate. Weather Station, you get good loot and good rotates, but there's immediately aggressive NPC there who's hard to kill, so make sure you understand how to kill him. If you land at Logjam, you get a couple kills because you might be contested, but you get really good loot, really good maps, and good rotates because of the cars. The main problem there is that there's an NPC who you can challenge for a purple pump, and you're going to do that about 99% of the time because purple pumps are amazing. But he's pretty hard to kill, so make sure you have some good guns lined up before you challenge him. A couple tips I have is to don't fight more than one person in mid game, because then you might end up burning through all your mats. Congested rotates are fine as long as you're a good enough builder. Try not to fight the second to last guy, try to just target the last guy. If you're a WT team in pubs, I would recommend you maybe land at Pleasant Park, where you can get a lot of kills and good storm, but the loot there maybe not as good. The Spire, you get lots of kills, good loot, and you can fight in the mid game, but if you really like mechanical guns, this might not be the place for you. Lazy Lake, you get a lot of kills, really good loot, really good storm, but you have to fight a lot, so make sure you're a good fighter. You're a good fighting team with a good amount of chemistry. A couple tips I have is to rush a team that has good loot in mid game, that congested rotates aren't a huge deal in pubs, they're fine to do. Pop off in mid game because that can really help. Make sure to keep height and to target solos. And if you're playing trios, target duos, target trios. If you're target not complete teams, for that will give you a lot of kills. If you're more of a passive team in pubs, I would recommend you maybe land at the weather station where you can get good loot and mid-game fight options, plus a free scar from killing the guy, who's really easy to kill if you have more than one team member. You can also, if you're playing trios or squads, split up and land caddy corner too, because the loot there is very, very good. Craggy Cliffs, you can get a couple kills, you can get good loot, there's an upgrade NPC, only problem is there's bad storm, so make sure you have a couple cars lined up to get your team out of the zone. Stealthy Strongholds, you get good loot, you get fish, you get mats, you get mid-game fight options. It's awesome. But you have to run from Storm a lot. So make sure, if you're not okay with running from Storm, maybe this is not the place for you. A couple tips I have is just stay on the dead side of zone. Don't fight the second to last team, and target the last team. Because you really want to, after the last fight, just spray them and don't let them heal. For that will get you the best chance of winning. Now you have all the skills you need to win, or at least place consistently. As you can see on the left, that is what you will do when you win. And on the right, that's a completely real picture of me winning a solo cash cup. It's 100% real. I had 1 billion points when second place only had 86. I definitely didn't cross out Mr. Savage's name. It's totally real. Make sure you guys leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Turn on those notifications for more epic content. Leave a comment on whatever suggestion you have. And I'll see you guys in the next one.